Welcome to the next episode, the latest episode of Let Me Be Frank with myself, Simon Houston, Frank McAvenny, and today's guest, someone pretty special, Charlie Mulgrew. Charlie, how you doing?
How you doing? Good to be here.
Cheers to have you on.
Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
It's pretty good, especially in the week leading up to one of our most important games of the season. We've certainly so far, but it could be a big decisive, so we'll talk about that in a bit.
Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about, yeah.
Hello to all the new subscribers we have. We've noticed the numbers going through the roof, relatively speaking, in the last few episodes. So brilliant. Keep watching, keep subscribing, all the usual things that you do in the techie world: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the lot. Just follow, subscribe, and the guests are getting better and better as you've seen. So Charlie, what's going on at the moment?
Yep.
Transfer window shutting this weekend. Celtic Rangers on Sunday. Great time to be a football fan.
It is, aye. Big game right away early on the season. You'd think Rangers are under a bit of pressure, more pressure than Celtic, aren't they? Yeah. And Celtic are flying, playing some right good stuff, picking up results, and Rangers are kind of dropped a couple of points already, so they need to get they're a bit behind the eight ball as it stands at now. So they're looking to get a result as much as Celtic's looking.
They've got to be confident, though. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Scoring 6 goals in the last game. They've got to go into a game confident. I mean, I'd be more concerned if it was Ibrox.
Aye.
But the game's at Celtic Park, so
the lineups could be totally different as well. There's a few things.
Oh yeah, there's a few things happening, which is I don't know if Charlie will know any more about it, but there's left backs come in for Brazil when he's getting announced today. Apparently.
Is that the boy for Barcelona?
Yeah,
through no bad players really come out that system, didn't they? So
that's why they don't even want to sell him, so that he's on loan. They've not got an option.
No, there's no option to buy, and it's quite a bit of money for a 1 year as well. But
that proves to me,
and the Barcelona fans really rate him from all accounts as well. So
that just proves to me how good a player he is, because if they don't want to give him an option, then he's going back in. He's going to be a regular in the Barcelona.
He'll need to be a good player. In my opinion, he replaced Taylor, and I know he got a bit of stick, and he's had a bit of stick, but I think that in the system they play, I think he's got it down to a T the way he comes into midfield, and he knows that left back slot inside out.
Do you think so? See, I watch it as a striker. He runs by the strikers. I mean, listen, he's good, so much heart. But yeah, he ends up outside right, and I'm thinking, your job's over there, and they just ping it into his area, which means centre half, one of Scales has got to come out, and then it splits to 2 centre halves. And I'm thinking, me as a striker, I want the 2 centre half split. So he's doing it for us.
I know, but I think when he does go forward and Celtic get that much of the ball and they're camped in the half.
But you're playing against European teams.
Well, this is where it comes with, in Europe. You don't have that much possession, and teams don't let you build up and keep them penned in 30-40 yards for goal. If he's playing in the SPL, or Celtic are playing the SPL, they're 40 yards for goal the majority of the time, and that's why these players can bomb on, and then when they lose it, they instantly try and get it back, so then they keep them in there, and all the team can do is punt it long. You've got 2 centre halves on the halfway line, just sweep them up and play.
I've not got a problem with Scales or Taylor as in the Scottish League, but when you go into Europe, they could, if they get a good centre half in, Scales could learn, because he must be learning off Carter Vickers. And he's still only young, so I think, and I would like Taylor as a backup as well, don't get me wrong, but
well, how do you deal with it? So if you've got a teammate, right, so ask any Celtic fan last year or so, everybody says the same thing, we need a new left back, right? So Greg Taylor's reading that, presumably. He's on social, he might not have an account, but he'll be reading it, read the press. So, and then you're going into the changing room and everybody's talking about what's been discussed. It must be quite awkward, does it?
See, I don't think that necessarily he'll be reading everything and reading every. No. He might be, but I don't think he will be. My guess would be, but you still get the feeling. It's hard to explain how, but you still get these feelings of any player gets a feeling of what the consensus is out there and what the fans are feeling, because wherever you go, fans will speak to you. You get a feeling for people. You know wee things that have been said. You know yourself how you're doing.
So it must be tricky.
Why do you think Brendan lets him do it? I mean, see me as a striker.
If
he runs by, if he runs by me, I'm going F off, because that's my space. If he's running in there, then turning, facing. When I played in midfield for St Mirren, I never had my back to goal, Charlie. So some boys are running in, turning, getting the ball at their feet. Well, that's the striker's job.
That's maybe a different system though.
I know what you're saying.
You were playing with the goalie was punting the ball up
I think my opinion that is back then.
Yeah.
You're coming to feet because the space is there.
Yeah.
Whereas now, there's number 8s in the pockets of 10s, and they've got the striker looking behind most of the time to stretch the teams. So then when they 10s and 8s get it, they're basically doing your job that you would have been doing, and then you're going in behind.
I get what you're saying, but going into midfield, I can understand, so that the winger comes and gets it off Scales or Caravaca. I get all that. But it's when he goes up to outside right, and I'm thinking, you're a left back, and teams catch on very quickly, and when they ping it into the left back, it just brings Scales out, and he shouldn't be going out. That's my thought. I'm just as a ex-player, I'm thinking he's splitting the defenders up. You're a centre half. You want to stay. You want to be close to the other centre half. If one of them's out there, you don't want to be left one on one with anybody.
The difficulty is they play against so many teams that in the SPL that are or the Scottish Premiership that are stuck in their half, so they need movement and options. And I think if you look at it, they all know where they need to be and when they need to be there. So if Scales is making that underlap, like you're saying, and going, then a midfielder appear in that area, and they're all kind of within a structure, but there's movement in it. I think the more passes you have and the more you're in there, the more your centre halves can get up, and it should really be you're 70, 80 yards for goals. You should be able to keep them in there, and you've got a keeper up high as well. So
I get it. I just it's for Europe for me. I just want to improve a bit of quality, and no disrespect to Greg, because he's got a heart of gold. He gives everything. So
I was going to ask. So you must have seen a lot of comings and goings over your career of new signings coming in, and some fit in with the team and fit in the dressing room quite quickly, and some don't. Some take a bit of time. There's going to be, whatever happens, there'll be a few new additions. So can you remember any of the players that arrived at Celtic or whatever and instantly blended with the team, and you can remember any players that maybe kind of took a bit of time to settle in with their new teammates?
I remember when Izagiri signed, and came from Honduras to a completely different culture, and he comes in, and the first day he had all like the Gucci shoes on, and all the trousers and the stuff probably all fake, and we've hung it all up for the tile. So I mean that's what used to happen years ago. Your gear would get hung up. I'm not sure how much it happens now, just daft stuff for a laugh. And it's to integrate him into the squad and make him feel welcome. That's the kind of Scottish kind of culture. But I think he went straight to the coaching staff and the management and was like, he's quite upset. I think he said the boys don't really like me. So the management and that says, no, that's because they do like you. If they don't like you, they'll no speak to you. This is them trying to get you into the squad. You've only been in a couple of days. And if you fast forward a few weeks later, I mean, he's hanging my gear up and hanging boys' gear up, hanging to the ceiling, and you're just like, brilliant, you know what I mean? That's him into the... And he loved it. I mean, his first year he was unreal. Remember Man United?
Of course.
Bid $7 million for him at the end of the season, and he was flying, but it just took that wee bit of time to realise that's how we showed our kind of...
That's what happens in Scotland. They like you, we slaughter you.
That's it.
But you also...
Is a dressing room like that? I mean, now... I mean, my dressing room is mad. You know, as
the years have went on for me, I've noticed it's went for. I mean, our youth team and reserve changing room was all that stuff constantly. I mean, I remember Tommy Burns showing Paul Caddis, who Rangers really wanted him at the time, and he's showing them all around the. I mean, whenever they're training ground at the time with Barrowfield, and Tommy Burns is trying to make Rangers in Murray Park. Tommy Burns is trying to make Barrowfield seem like the best, as best he could, make it seem amazing, right? And it's all getting done now, and it's all getting done up. But back then, so he's taking Paul Caddis about, showing him the wee canteen, taking him in the changing room, and he walks in the changing room and mid-skirtine and Maniac and two guys for Dundee, Gary Fraser, are completely bollock naked running about the changing room. I mean, Tommy Burns goes, and this is when the boys get changed and they two are just chasing each other in a bed, completely naked, you know what I mean? So, they just at the shower messing about. Tommy Burns went mental. But
Caddis obviously liked that because he signed.
I loved it. I signed right on the dotted line that day. No, it's all kind of, no change, but as I've got older and seen changing room, it's kind of changed a wee bit. The culture's kind of more, I call it professional, reserved, whatever you like. Boys are just more serious in what they're doing. I mean, and don't get me wrong, we were serious at the time.
I think you've got to have that release.
Do you think is there an HR issue nowadays that maybe didn't exist? Do you think young players might turn around and say, I feel uncomfortable in this environment.
Potentially. I think there's that fear, definitely that fear now of the HR stuff, which is another thing. It's a good point,
Yeah.
Aye.
You mentioned...
So do you think it's a football... I mean, it's a football dressing room, you can't...
I know, but it's 2024, Frank.
I don't care. I don't care. It's you know, you can't... You've got to have a laugh. Doesn't matter where you want, you've got to have a laugh, as long as it's not personal and it's not...
Aye. But you could... Aye, but equally, I mean, you don't also want a young player who maybe doesn't get what the joke is, feeling intimidated a wee bit.
Back in the day, young players never get in a dressing room.
Aye.
So
if Messi signed for West Ham, he'd be like...
I know, if he was in the first team, you get in, but if the boys had to knock on the door at West Ham to go in and get his stuff...
Aye. Oh, we were scared to walk in.
Billy Bond says, you know, you've got to earn respect to get in there. Yeah. And now, the young boys go in and slaughter the first team players, and I'm thinking, where's the respect for that? That's no respect. You know, some of the boys nowadays think they've made it before they get...
I remember walking into that Celtic changing room with Sutton and Hearts and Larson and all that.
Brilliant.
Your stomach's doing somersaults, you're so nervous, and you're in to pick up all their dirty gear to go and get it washed. And I remember Sutton shouting, I don't like this, shouting, Charlie. You're like, oh no, here we go, turn round. He says, see when you're older and you're working at Mcdonalds, make sure you put some extra chips in my daughter's Happy Meal, or my son's Happy Meal. Honestly.
Have you ever pulled him up about that?
I pull him up, he just start, when they say that, he says, he's brilliant. I love Sutton. Because even him, I'm in that tune about 16-year-old. These are boys I've watched for the last few years, my heroes that are playing, and for them even to interact with me,
I know.
Like, even that, I was like, that's just brilliant. Obviously, you're embarrassed at the time. Yeah, but you're like, that's amazing. Like, I'm going home and tell my dad, like, something spoke to me today. You know,
and you're making a mental note, I need to put extra chips in that Happy Meal.
Somebody told me that he said to one of the boys, come in with a Ferrari or something. And he says, oh, brilliant. He hadn't been near the first team. And he says, you paying it up, or you just pay cash like the rest of the boys in here? We boys laugh.
There's a story similar to that. So the same, a boy in my team, he got a Mini, he was buzzing to get a new Mini, came in with the keys off, flipping it around his horn and all that, get a new Mini, which is brilliant that age, you're buzzing. And Sutton's, he's so sharp, he's like, Reedy, did you get a new car? He's like, yeah. Tried to tell my buddy, he went, might get myself one of those, put my dogs in it. You know, just...
Brilliant. Brilliant. So you told us a story as well before we started recording. Amido Baldi, when he arrived too, there was something funny happened.
So going back to the Zagari stuff, he arrived and so he was the same. I think I hung up his stuff this time, full outfit, had a big long coat and some rascal gear, so hung that up. And he came in for training and he was fuming. So if that'd been a Scottish lad or a British lad who understood what went on, they'd have known what was happening. But Amido's come in, never played out of France or wherever he played, raging, fuming. So then again, the lads explained what was happening, the staff and that kind of explained, and a couple of days later, he found out it was me through somebody, and a couple of days later, he put on my full outfit that I'd on that day to turn up at training, and he jumped in the swimming pool. All the lads were loving it. So my gear's soaked, I'm standing watching him, but this deep down, I liked it because I thought, at least we're going to get a better player now because he's feeling more comfortable and he knows this is a banter.
That's a good point, actually. Do you think players improve on the pitch when they're more pally with their teammates?
100%.
You've got a good dressing room, innit?
If you like coming to your work every day, and you can get a good rapport, a good connection, a good laugh with the boys, and that's not to get confused with. When it's serious, you're ready. You're ready to train. You're ready to train. We had the most professional. We were at it every day in training. Right for the warm up into the boxes, and we were at it, and we trained properly. And then when we went off, it was time to have a laugh, and it was when you had a laugh, you done it right. So it's no between mistaking about messing about when it's time's right.
You'd quite a character right next to you in the middle of the defence when you first kind of broke in as centre half. Was the big Swedish centre half Daniel Mastorovic? He must have been
Big Dan. Nobody ever asks about Big Dan. That's a random one.
There's a reason for asking. There's a couple of stories about this. Better get the music ready.
Big Dan, right? So when I think about Big Dan, my first memory is he used to come in the morning, get completely naked, and sit like that. take up about 3 bays in the changing room, and always beside him was Mark Wilson. And never used to say a word. He just used to get like crushed against his locker like that. Never used to say a word. The big man used to sit like that, and he was always smelling brilliant like oranges. I don't know if he'd all the moisturiser and all that on. He was pristine, the big man. But he was one of the older ones. Well, he was the oldest in the changing room. I think he was mid-30s at the time. And Kyle, it was a weird bromance between him and Kyle. It's almost like a father-son relationship they had. So just everywhere you would go, hotels, anything, they two would be sitting together, sitting having a coffee, and it was intense chats, like as if the dad was giving the son advice. Do you know what I mean? So it was always like a kind of running joke. And then I remember this went on for however long they were there, maybe a year, 2 years. And then Big Dan leaves, and I had a song I must have heard or something. I don't know what made me put it on, but I was on the bus. I said, I've got a song for you. So Dan left. He went, funny enough, he went and signed in Spain. And I said, I've got a song for you. The bus went quiet, and I put on Elton John, Daniel. And if you listen to the words of that, Daniel's travelling tonight on a plane. I can see the red tail lights heading for Spain. And Daniel was going to Spain, so the boys are all laughing. Kaya was just fuming, just staring down the bus. Boys were like laughing and then trying to hide their laugh because how raging he was. But the song was so fitting.
Absolutely perfect.
It was perfect.
Did you see anything after it?
See the way the song goes. So we're all sitting in the bus.
Brilliant.
And if you listen to the song, it's like Daniel's travelling and it's dead slow and there's music behind. It just keeps going. So it just kept getting more and more awkward as he's just staring at me like... But he's obviously hearing the words. The boys are howling, laughing, and the more you listen to it, it's just so... As if Daniel's wrote it for him.
Very perfect. It looks like Daniel must be the clouds in my eyes. Oh, that's super.
Look, I can see Daniel waving goodbye and all that. Looks like Daniel.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad you asked about that.
Brilliant.
Oh, that's superb.
Did they ever get over it?
Never mentioned again. It was never mentioned. Well, boys were like, how awkward was that? It was so funny, but he was like... he was fuming about it. Berham Kyle was like that. Took himself really seriously. He was called to call himself the Prince or something. He was. If he was chocolate, he would eat himself, Berham. But he was.
He had to slot them every day. Every day.
The boys did get on him, but he couldn't. He couldn't. He didn't like it. But he was an alright guy. He was a nice guy. He was a good player. But he just. He took himself. He loved himself.
Saw a story about another Swedish international that came to Celtic, Freddie Lundberg, the other day. And on a rival podcast, but talking about how did he not speak after the captain during the huddle? Is that not like a total no-no? I think
it's not a no-no. No, it's the odd person's chipped in before. It's random for a new signing. To come out and say something. I actually saw that story as well. I remember the game, Berwick Rangers away. The grass was harder on this floor. Should probably have been called off, and you could hear people's studs after the change room was like the size of that table. It's tiny, and you're looking at Freddie going, he's been at Arsenal. This is not going to be nice for him a day. I think he gets smashed a few times. We end up winning 1-0, but I don't remember it being the greatest day for him. Well, wasn't great for anybody. Not a great game of football, but I remember the game.
I always feel a bit disappointed with his time at Celtic because he was proper. Superstar.
He loved himself coming up for Arsenal. I mean, I remember, you know what I'm like with the fans, Charlie. I think the fans are great. It doesn't matter who you play for, you should always interact with the fans. And I was in reception at Celtic Park, and he's going like that to the security, go and get my car. And the people were outside, the pissing rain, waiting on him. And he was one of the last to leave. And I've called him everything, didn't I? I says, you arrogant sod. I says, go and fucking, hey boys, are kids, waiting on autographs. And because they'll get him on the way to the car park, and he didn't want to go and get a car. Didn't want to speak to him. I thought, how ignorant. You're getting fortunes. You're coming up here, it's the twilight of your career. You're just finishing, you're coming up and make some money, and you know what to sign autographs. I can't abide that.
I remember he won his first day's training. It was that winter. It was 2011 or something. It was January 2011. I'm sure it was running about that time, was I? And Lennoxtown was minus 15 degrees up the hill. And there was no grass on the pitch because under soil heating, and it was just freezing. He had about 40 layers on, 2 hats.
Do you know we wear gloves in the summer as well?
It was freezing. It was funny.
So, I'm just going to talk about you now and what you're doing and how life is in your Hamilton at the moment. How's it going?
I'm taking Hamilton 18s at the moment. Enjoying
first step now.
First step, I've got ambitions to be a manager in the future.
Good.
So I'm enjoying this at the moment and learning and
Yeah.
It's good. It's good doing that because you're going to make mistakes, and it's better learning when you're coaching kids. You know, the boys, because there's some good. I'd imagine there'll be some good players on it.
There is some good players. A lot of them just out of school, so they're learning what it is to be a professional.
Of course.
They're learning how to train properly. Turn up every day, get the balance of having a laugh and also being professional and disciplined.
Yeah.
And then being on the pitch and turning up every day like it's your last, because I'm just trying to give them the knowledge of how important it is to treat every day as your last, because you just don't want to get complacent or think that this is going to last forever. I think you need to seize the opportunity and it's getting all that across to them and try to help them learn and teach them the game.
It's a great club. I've always got a lot of time for Hamilton. I know a few of the owners, and it's a great charity in the community.
They've done well.
They've done a lot of charity and they do a lot in the community, don't they? So
they've done a lot. I don't know a lot about the community stuff, but they've done a lot through the youths in the past. They've definitely had success in that side of things. So they've done things properly. They've done things right.
They've brought some good players through as well. Some
they have
great players.
You can go through them, Lewis Ferguson and stuff like even boys like Ryan Oney and that. More recently, they've went down south.
They've been doing the first two big ones. I saw it was McCarthy and MacArthur. Two of them.
Yep.
You know.
So they've done well.
And McCarthy's still at Celtic at the moment.
I'm not actually not 100% sure. I don't know him there.
I think he's still getting paid.
Did you ever get a chance to manage?
Me?
Aye.
I applied for the Arsenal job once, and I got a letter back saying
last year.
I got a letter back saying they want Arsene Wenger, no Arsenal a bit. Nah, there's no chance. I've not got the patience for it. You know me, Charlie. I've not got it. You know, some of the young kids, you've got to have you've got to have a laugh at them, but you've got to make it professional. And sometimes I don't see what's wrong with shouting at somebody if they do wrong. See, when I played, if I kept losing the ball, my centre half, you know, and Paul McStade, Roy Aitken, you can imagine Tommy Burns, they weren't slow and letting me know, you know, I can hold on to it. And you take that, and then we go in, the manager tells you at half time, shouts at you. But because you're doing wrong, you're getting shouted at. It's for your own benefit, and a lot of players nowadays can't take getting shouted at.
I think.
And it's so for me, I don't think it would be. I mean, you've got a better attitude than me. I couldn't do that.
I've got to say that actually, because you always strike me as quite a level-headed individual, Charlie. A couple of things have happened to you in your career, on and even off the park, and you've just dealt with it pretty well, you know. But I always remember that game playing for Aberdeen at Ibrox, the Kyle Lafferty incident, which, you know, made all sorts of headlines, and obviously, you know, I think you had your red card rescinded. What's your recollections of that?
I remember the game. Obviously Aberdeen at Ibrox, big game for both clubs. Early on in the game, obviously up for it, grew up a Celtic fan, and a chance to go and play at Ibrox and try and take points off Rangers. So up for the game, I've just cleared one up the line, and Lafferty's come in and got me late. And being hyped up, we've ended up kind of squaring up a wee bit. And then he's just kind of went down all of a sudden. We were face to face, and he's just went down without touching him. Next minute I'm off the pitch, and the VAR back then, obviously, you're off, that's it. You're like, I know I've not touched him, and then you need to walk off.
But the authorities sort of, you know, got behind you there in that occasion, because there's incidents in the past where that's just been left and the person gets the red card stays, you know, but obviously there was a lot of kind of...
There was, Ally McCoist phoned me after the game, fair play to him, they showed a lot of class. He phoned me after the game and apologised because they knew straight away it wasn't a sending off, and it was fine. I met Kyle Lafferty in a nightclub in Glasgow about 3 weeks after or something.
And did he admit it?
Not even doing.
I think we just had a kind of laugh about it, a discussion. It was already done and dusted by that point, and it was finished. I mean, he's obviously made a mistake, and that's what happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I need to ask you about this, because everybody, talks about the famous incident in Costco car park, Michelle Mone as well. You handled that brilliantly too, and again you were cleared.
It was mad. I went to Costco. It was about, I think it was maybe a week before Christmas, maybe less than that. Anyway, we drove to Costco. My wife, the backstory, my wife had my son who's now, funny enough, he's full-time at Celtic. He's just went full-time in the summer there.
Aye.
Just
You've left him in the motor, haven't you?
Aye.
I'm sorry, I'll carry on.
So she'd been out with him during the day. He was tired. So we got him in the motor and we had to go to Costco with people coming to us for Christmas, and we went to Costco, and as we arrived he fell asleep in the car. So we're like, wait, do we take him in here? And I was like, no, we'll go in and I'll just keep running in and out. So as we go in with the trolley, obviously Michelle Mone's there, but I don't know who Michelle Mone is.
Aye.
The whole way around Costco as we go in, this woman's like kind of near us. So you notice she's there. So I'm in and out checking constantly, brand new, fine. Get to the desk, go through my stuff, get outside, and get to the motor. And there's this. So put stuff in the motor, and she's like, "Is this your car?" I was like, aye. She's like, "You've left the kid in the car?" And I says, "Aye, no, I was in and out checking. He's fine." And he was
Still sleeping.
Still sleeping.
Aye.
And as we're discussing putting the stuff in the back, he kind of wakes up in the back of the car and give him a wee packet of sweeties, and we're sitting there and we're putting stuff in. So as we put stuff in, we try to reverse it, and she's like, I'm not moving." I said, "What?" She said, I phoned the police and the ambulance. I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I'm like, "Move." No, I'm not moving. I still don't know who this is, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to move out of the way. Try to reverse it when they let us out. Next minute an ambulance pulls up. I'm like, "You're joking me." The ambulance guy's like, as if they say, "I'm sorry, but this is what we need to do because we've been phoned." Next minute the police turn up and this big deal was made to us. And then I realised who she was then, because there was tweets and there was... So at this point I didn't realise I went home, and then Celtic phoned me, says, "What's happened?" I says, "What do you mean?" They went, "Well," I said, "How do you know?" The press officer at Celtic.
Had she tweeted about it?
She tweeted about it, saying, "I'm ready to put a brick through this car, and a kid's been left in minus whatever temperatures he said in the car and made it look really bad. For no 1 second are you going to leave a kid in the car." And
Did that go to court, Charlie? Did that go, or did it just get...
That was all dropped.
Aye, get dropped. Everything get dropped. Aye. As soon as it was sort of looked into, or any sort of when people heard the story and realised, it get put away. So
She's butting in. She shouldn't have.
Just butting in.
You ever spoken to her? You ever talked to her subsequently?
Never spoke to her, no. And I've genuinely, hand on heart, can say I've got no ill feeling towards her for that scenario. I mean, at the time I was fuming. My head was gone. I was like, why would somebody try and cause this scenario?
Particularly if you've explained it, you know,
and I think
you're in and out continually.
Well, if I'm somebody that's concerned, really concerned, and this is what it was annoying, but if I'm concerned about a kid in a car, like she said she was, what's the first thing you do?
Tell her parents.
You run into the shop, don't you, and you get a tannoy saying, "By the way, there's an issue here."
Completely.
That's what I'd do.
Do you know what I mean? Try and get a hold of the parent and give them a chance, because it's clear the parent's still in there or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That's how I saw it.
Her underwear was alright, by the way. Not her underwear, the ones that she sold.
You've got it on the new, haven't you?
I know a few people that wear it, yes.
And you were telling us another funny story that happened after that whole Michelle Mone incident.
Actually, we had a team night out in Edinburgh no long after. It must have been a matter of weeks after. And got a taxi back from Edinburgh, and it was me behind the driver, and it was Mark Wilson in the front seat. Both he dropped him home and come on the hold, and then I'm going back to Lindsay. So we're driving back, and Mark Wilson's chatting about the driver and stuff, and I don't know if I've spoken to him about this since, but it'd be good to get a chat with him. But the driver says, chatting away, blah blah blah. Anyway, the driver says, "What about Charlie Mulgrew leaving his way in the car? That's a disgrace." So I'm sitting behind the driver like this, half falling asleep. I'm like, heard my name, so I'm up. And Willow looks through at me, kind of laughs, and I'm like, just keep it going, keep chatting away, because he can't see me behind him. So he keeps going on and on and on. He's like, "That's a disgrace. I mean, you don't leave your way, and it's winter, and it's this and it's that." And Willow's like, "Oh, I know, tell me about it, blah, blah, blah." Going along with all this. And he says, "I mean, it's not that. I mean, I've popped into the bookies a couple of times, but I've I've never. So anyway, the story goes, we're driving and but they're talking about 10, 15 minutes about that situation. Willow's just winding it up. I know, what about that? And what about this? And what would you have done? And that's when he says, oh, I popped into the bookies, but it was 2 minutes just putting a wee light on that was back out. So we get to come and I'll drop Willow off. So, right, see you later, Willow. I'll just jump in the front. So I came round the front of the motor, opened the seat, jumped in, sat down. I was like, all right, mate. And he just went, and he's fucking just went chalk white. And he's like, listen, I wasn't meaning, I went, don't worry about it, mate. Just take me home. I'm not bothered. And he just drove us up.
So big season ahead.
Aye.
And I mean, obviously Celtic are favourites at the moment. How are Aberdeen looking? I mean, they've hit the ground running.
They've won
games in the bounce.
Aye, I'm up to Ross County for their game on Saturday, 5:30 kick-off.
They'll beat Ross County. I mean, that's going on to Fergie timeline. He won a few games in a row, hasn't he? They've lost in 7 or something. Was it 7?
Well, they've won obviously the first 3 league games, so they're looking good. I mean, I've not seen an awful lot of them, their style and how they play and how it's changed, but the fact they're winning games and.
Do you think they could possibly think they could potentially split the big two, or is that pie in the sky?
I would. You never know. I mean, you don't want to get too carried away with 3 wins in a row. Because quickly they draw one game to somebody. They draw on Saturday and you start to go, oh no, that sounds ridiculous. But you just never know. I mean, a new manager, they took their time.
Injury. If they get a couple of injuries, they've not got a big squad. That's the biggest problem, I think.
Well, they get Kevin Nisbet, that's a good sign.
The fact that they've took their time to bring the manager in, he's obviously brought a style of play in that they've looked into and think, right, how they've thought more about it rather than just going for the general, let's get the next guy they've actually looked into and went, does this guy got a style of play, let's implement it here, and they've done that, which is fair play to them. I respect them, definitely respect that.
Europe, we discussed this before about that great night 2012 when you were central to it, that game when Celtic beat Barcelona 2-1.
That's right. And central to it without really kicking the ball apart twice or something.
But how many interceptions or blocks do you think you made that night?
Do you know what?
And how many kilometres did you run?
Brilliant story.
I've told that before. I ran. So we get all the players wear GPS vests, so everybody knows exactly to the metre what they've ran. Back then it was the stats that were in the cameras were in the stadium, so we get a look at them after that night. And I remember I'd done 14.5k, and Messi, I looked at quickly, went to Messi to see what he's done. He done 6. So
he was outstanding.
So I spent my whole night doubling up. We had a Matthews. I was playing left mid, doubling up with a winger who never took MD on because they don't. They pass it back inside, and then I was going in to block the pass to go tight in my midfield so they can't play it through us. And I remember just doing that the whole night.
Shuttle runs.
Eventually we'd get a goal kick and you were like, yes. So you go up to the halfway line, you'd wait they'd kick it towards me to try and flick it on. That's why I was playing left mid and also the defensive stuff. And then maybe you would flick it, go for a throw in there, get the ball again, start again. You were just like, I don't know how we got up the pitch for a corner to get the corner, but that was the one thing we had sort of planned, was that ball to Wanyama above Alba's head. And
it was your corner kick as well, wasn't it?
Aye. So we done a lot of practice on it the day before and the day of.
Yeah.
And it was good. Worked out.
So they maybe need to think a wee bit more about that kind of approach if they're going to make an impact in the Champions League again, do you think? About maybe not going toe-to-toe and trying to outpass the likes of Barcelona.
It's a difficult one.
It's a difficult one, really. You want to go in it.
Brendan tried it before, and
you don't get a chance to play against teams like that all the time. You want to match yourself against the best, but there's got to be a good balance. You can't just go gung ho it. But Ange did. Let's be honest. He just went against Real Madrid. We had a few chances. Might have been different for the squad.
I think Atletico, the game at home at Atletico, were brilliant last year. Kept had a lot of possession, but I think when you go toe-to-toe with these teams, just say you go toe-to-toe and both teams get 5 chances,
I know
they're going to take that, just because on average they've got the better or more quality players. They're playing 50 million, 60 million for players, 30 million for Conor Gallagher. They're going to get their chances. The chances are they'll score them.
Well, that's what happened at Real Madrid the year before. Exactly. We had 3 chances, and it was just never took them. And then but that's the way they do it. Good teams do that, don't they?
And going into Europe without Matt O'Reilly and the sore one he took last night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a horror. Have you seen the tackle?
I've not seen it. No.
Yeah, the boy should have never even got booked.
Didn't get booked or anything, but he's they're waiting for the result of the scans. But he was carried off the pitch after just 7 or 8 minutes.
My God,
it's one of them. There's no VAR, so and everything that looked at, it was.
Aye, it all happened very quickly, but so that's a pity.
It may be.
Hopefully be okay.
It may be lucky.
Yeah,
but it's a wee change in it. But I watched that last night. Matt's what player he was for Celtic.
Aye, very good.
He's very good. So I'm hoping it does well. And thanks very much for what he did.
For when he was, I heard a story about him. He was at Fulham as a young lad, and they wanted to keep him, and they offered him like a good contract, like 10 times what offers he got anywhere else, and he decided to leave to go to MK Dons and get like a 10th of the money.
Aye, when did he play?
Because he wanted to play, and he wanted to play in a style with Russell Martin, who's now the Southampton manager. Aye. And it's rare that you hear about these stories in football.
So it shows what a thinker he is as well, though.
Yeah,
definitely. Clever lad.
I think it helps as well that I think he was.
Well, Granty was his coach. I think Peter Grant was his coach in it. Fulham, and he was saying that the bone structure or something, and he didn't run right, and he's obviously grown, matured into his body, and that's what's now he's fit enough and he can do it.
There was an issue. I think he had an issue with his spine as well.
It was somebody just, what a player when he's on.
But Grant was saying the way he runs, the gait is a kind of, it doesn't look like a kind of typical footballer, but.
Well, hopefully you can think of that now, can't you? The way he runs himself, kind of awkward style.
But that's a bit. Peter Grant was explaining what that was all about. Hopefully he's okay.
Hopefully,
couple of things coming up too. So international break, Scotland. That's some group they're in the Nations League with Poland and Croatia. How do you see the Scotland story unfolding after the Euros, which was pretty disappointing, wasn't it?
It was, I don't know. The manager's got his style and how he sees it. I think they were brilliant against Switzerland, the way they pressed the game, and that's probably their best performance. That first half against Switzerland and how they pressed, as I said. But I think the style is normally a kind of standoffish, don't have much possession, kind of block spaces, and I don't know if that's he's going to try and change that, or whether he can change that if it's not your way of thinking. So it'll be interesting to see this.
He was very defensive, and that's why I played Shea Adams, and I was a wee bit disappointed because I thought Shanklin should have been playing. This is my reason. Scoring 30 goals when you're playing for Hearts, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. That's a hell of a start to score the goals. So I thought he's on fire. He should have played him because you get a chance, he either took it. Shea does the graph, but he never really held it up, did he?
I know.
He was doing a lot of work and putting people under pressure, but he never held it up. So the boys never, you would be like, he's a release, he's a break, and he never really done that. So I think Shanklin was good at it, but again, it's one of them. But I would prefer Scotland to play against good teams rather than play against teams that we should beat.
Aye.
We always.
Callum's retired as well. Callum McGregor's retired, so there's a space to fill in midfield. But I'd like to see Lewis Ferguson back fit and see how, because I've never really seen him having a run in the Scotland jersey.
It's a shame for Lewis because I get told, I know his agent and all that, but apparently there was deals there for Juventus and Napoli, and it was all the deals were there, and he got injured.
It's a sickener, isn't it?
Oh,
he's done so well.
I know he's done brilliant, and he's went over and he's learned the language and done an interview. And it's how we know what?
Oh no,
this was the first sort of a month.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It was. Watched him do it in Italian. Very good. Very impressive.
Really good, so when Juventus come calling a team like Napoli, you think, my God. So fair play them.
Do you always keep an eye out for your former teams and whatever, like Dundee United? That was your last team up.
That's the first results you check when you on a Saturday. You'll check if you don't see the games, your ex teams, and Dundee United's one of them.
Go to many games?
So I sometimes I don't know what many is. I mean, you get people that go every 4 times a week. I don't do that.
No.
I'll probably catch a game or two a week at any level, whatever that might be. But I like to see my old teams and how they're doing.
How are things going at Tannadice at the moment? They haven't been following too closely.
They've started doing quite well. They've made some good signings.
Yeah,
they've signed a boy that came through Barcelona's academy. Went away and he's had a bit of a career. He's come back. He's early 30s. Looks a right good good player Babunski, and they've got a winger that's very good as well. Forgot his name, and the manager signed really well. They're looking quite strong this year.
It's good to see that. It's good to see a team like Dundee United back, doing what they should be doing. Because even football fans around Europe will remember that name. They'll remember a team that got to European Set Cup.
They were brilliant. Dundee United, Aberdeen.
Yeah.
We're up there with the best.
Boris Malpass played with them, didn't he?
It was incredible. I remember they were playing Roma, and the St Mirren boys all went up to see the game, and we're all sitting out, and we just watching the Roma boys do the warm up. It was quality. Just the way they were doing it, it was like they were dancing, going up and down, and I'm thinking, even the warm up's different. They look so super cool, at the times. All get off the bus with the sunglasses, and all that, and the tracksuit, perfect tracksuits, and we've got the old raggedy things, Umbro and all that. So it was just to watch them was great, and I love watching all that kind of stuff. But Dundee United, Aberdeen, Celtic and Rangers, all good teams.
I mind watching the Barcelona warm-up, top of the warm-ups here at Old Trafford. So I went to watch Barca Old Trafford in the Champions League at Old Trafford. And I was watching the Barca because I was up that end of the pitch, watched them warm-up. I couldn't believe how relaxed their warm-ups were.
I know.
They all came out, and they all started, even the goalie, were all hitting free kicks.
Aye.
That lasted for about 10 minutes. Yeah. And then they had a wee jog up and down, a couple of wee stretches. Then they just got in pairs and started whacking the ball across the park to each other. Mm-hmm. And then, before you know it, they were on their way in. Yeah. It was like so relaxed.
I know. I remember going to Celtic. I don't know what game it was. They were playing Barcelona, and it's the boy you were talking about, Cadiz, was playing right back. Strachan brought him in.
Cadiz, that's right.
Cadiz. They brought him in. I'm thinking, I'm sitting there thinking, don't worry about it, son. You're playing against the number one in the world, and if they swap, it's number two. So Messi was on one side. I'm thinking, you're going to have a nightmare. But Ronaldinho's trying to hit the bar, and the wee ball boy caught the ball, and he laughed. And he went, and Ronaldinho said something to him, and he went, "Get the ball." And he got up to stand like, and he just pinged the ball about 3 or 4 times right in the boy's arm. I'm like, embarrassing. The wee boy's like, because he missed the bar once. It was brilliant. And I thought, the wee boy's never going to forget that.
Brilliant.
Another sleeping giant you played for was Blackburn as well. So you still held in high regard among the Blackburn fans from your time down there. Didn't you?
I scored 14 one season. Yeah. I was so happy to go in the penalties. Somebody, a penalty taker was injured or something. I can't remember the ins and outs, but I took the penalty one night, and then I think we get 5 or 6 penalties that year, and then I scored a few free kicks.
Brilliant.
Managed to get 14 for them that year, so that was a good year. That was a great club. I loved my time down there. We had a good squad.
How long you been there?
5 years.
Brilliant.
So I've done 6 at Celtic and 5 at Blackburn.
That's a good chunk of your career, isn't it?
Good.
It was really good. I enjoyed my time. Tony Mulgrew was the man. Owen Coyle, then Tony Mulgrew.
Coyley, how is he as a manager?
Brilliant, man.
He's good, isn't he?
He's brilliant. What a guy he is. Enthusiasm for the games. So good. And what a funny guy and all. So funny.
He put his wife, I was when he go, we were coming back, and he was, and I'm saying, Mum, we're going out, and he was on the phone to his wife. I didn't know he was on the phone to his wife. I said, we're all going out, come on. And just handed me the phone, and she's going, don't you dare ask. She's shouting the ball at me. I'm like, hey, I'll have him back by midnight.
I'll tell you what, he's loud in the touchline as well. There was a playoff game last season. I think the microphone must have been quite close to him. Mm-hmm. And it was like so many folk were on Twitter basically saying, who's that screaming? And it was like Coyle.
Very knowledgeable with football. He's good.
Brilliant.
Good, by the way, good striker. He could score goals.
I think when he took the Burnley job, he was still playing with the reserves, wasn't he? He played up front for the reserves.
Pinging it and all that. I remember somebody saying that. They were saying he was the best player out there. Pinging it top corner and all. Brilliant.
He used to join in our shooting drills and all that. So he'd put on sessions so he could join in them. Day crossing and finishing and all that. He was brilliant.
This is at Blackburn.
He still had the shouts, the banter and all that. So he would join in. And he was crossing and finishing, and he'd be in the middle scoring. Then he'd go wide. You take turns rotating. And he was out wide, and he'd cross it in, and if you missed, he'd be like, come on, I'm breastfeeding you here and all that.
Brilliant.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you're at Hamilton at the moment, so, still a young man, so lots to look forward to. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years? Hopefully established manager at the highest level I can be at.
Yeah. Would you be happy to travel?
Join it.
Would you be happy to manage anywhere in the continent?
I think when you go into this industry management and coaching, you need to be willing to travel.
Yeah.
Ideally no too far just now within the country. That's why I'm at Hamilton. And then once you get kind of a run at it, then you can take you anywhere, can't it?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Just obviously still keep fit. Do you still kind of play? Five.
When I finished, I played a lot of 60s. There's a game, there's an ex-players kind of game. Mark Goody plays it. You used to play in it, didn't you?
Used to play it,
and it's a good game. It tells you all about the mobility in the game because it's a 5-a-side pitch, but we play 6-a-sides in it.
Pretty tight.
It's great, but when you're playing with all the ex-pros, it's a lot better. It was nearly killing me because your head tells you to run. My body's going, fuck off.
But you're
not doing it. I'm like,
you're going to come back
the following morning, you're like, my God, I can't walk.
McCabe plays, Jerry.
I know, Jerry.
Jerry McCabe plays, and
it's good.
He's 70 or something. Must be close to 70 now.
Aye.
Somebody says he's still dribbling and all that, trying to shoot. I'd say you need to stop shooting. You're not getting any power in your legs.
I noticed that with your shooting and playing fives the other week. But your knee's knackered. But you're going to come back and play again.
I will come back.
Because the boys are outside.
Remember Jerry?
Aye, Jerry McCabe.
Somebody said he's the only guy older than his dad.
He's absolutely brilliant, but he'll tell you. I played in a team called Dukla Pumpkinston.
Aye.
Is that how you pronounce it? And John McDonald, solo, he was playing at centre half, and we were playing against Johnsonborough. I used to play with Johnsonborough, so I was playing one half at a charity game for Johnsonborough. Second half I was playing for Dukla. And John's at centre half, and I'm going, why are you centre half? And he's going, you'll find out in the second half when you play for us. So I'm up front and I'm running about like an idiot. And Jerry's going, oh, and he's going to try to beat people, and I'm going, what are you doing? Just give me it. Aye, son, you don't get the ball that easy off us. It's just when he gave the pass, everything's about him.
Aye.
Jerry Collins and all the boys all run about midfield, and I'm going, just pass me the ball. And he's like, no, I'm doing doggies. And I'm like, right, okay. So John McDonald's laughing. He says, that's why I'll play it back.
I was thinking about wrapping things up, but actually now on that subject, who's the greediest player you've ever played with?
Greediest?
Aye.
Oh.
And then when you're screaming at, just give us the ball.
Aye.
He's not going to like this, but I'll go to say McGeady when he was young.
Aye.
But then again, he used to just beat the whole team and score, so it was hard to moan at him.
Yeah.
So we were the same under-12s team at Celtic. He joined. We would go to any tournament abroad anywhere, and he would get player of the tournament against Ajax, all these teams. They were all fascinated by him. He used to just get the ball and beat 3, 4, 5 men every time, and then square it and somebody would tap it in. And so it was hard to moan at him because he was that good.
Aye, and all the tricks. I mean, he had all those tricks from...
All the tricks. But you used to have seen him like at that age.
Yeah.
He was off the charts.
And what with the coaches not saying that's all very well and good, but you need to learn to play the early ball?
Well, that's hard as a coach if you're standing there and he's beating 5 men. How can he, and he's scoring, or he's squaring it, or he's having so much success?
I suppose if there's an end product,
do you really want to coach that creativity out of players? Do you know what I mean?
I think that's too much in there. They're coaching that out of players.
Yeah.
It's different if he's doing it and he's getting the ball taken off him every time. You're thinking, right, well, to improve your game, can we sort of learn to play simple sometimes, and then can you learn to beat the last man in the last line or whatever?
Aye. I mean, I only say it because a guy used to sit next to me at football, with Big Jerry, give my name check. Always used to say, show pony, where's the end product,
DeCanio was that as well. I never...
Maybe not so much in his very early days, but maybe kind of further on in his Celtic career.
I think the wingers that maybe don't, I'm not saying he did, but if they ever have a spell where they don't have goals or assists, that's the first thing people jump on.
Aye.
They don't remember when he was... Don't remember when they were doing it. They just go, he's just a show pony, or wasn't he end product? When they actually look at how he did have.
There was a double drag back at Pittodrie. I think it was over across the ball over for a Scott McDonald header.
That's right.
Was always I think of McGeady.
Played for Aberdeen in that game.
You did?
Aye.
You'd been on the other side of the pitch though. You weren't responsible for
the back post. Was it?
Didn't know where Scott was.
Well, I'm going to give somebody else the blame.
What height are you? 6 foot, what, 4?
6'4", aye.
So you wouldn't have been out jumping Scott McDonald.
Nah, I wasn't.
What we'll do is we'll just check YouTube on that one.
I'll probably get the double drag bag against me. That was probably me.
Aye.
Well, listen, we're pretty much running out of time.
Can't go without asking you what result on Sunday.
Oh, excellent, good.
Yeah.
Done.
It goes
I
like that.
can't see anything other than a comfortable 2-0 Celtic. I just think they're absolutely
Do you know
fine.
what? I'm frightened because I'm that comfortable that they're going to win, and it's horrible to say, but
You'll be sneaky the other way around.
no, it's just if Celtic turn on play, they should win. But you know what it's like in these games, and I hate being so confident. Normally you go in wee bit of, they do all right, but I just hope the defence can look after them and stay tight. Middle to front, I've not got a problem.
Aye.
Definitely.
Well, before we go, everybody will want to know how you are after your car accident because media coverage and all that. So you okay?
I'm all right. I aches and pains and all that kind of stuff, but you know it's.
You made a strong stuff.
I made a bit of stuff. Nightmares or something. Nightmares.
Aye, you sure?
I shut my eyes. My exes, not like that. No, it's a bit worrying. It was a horrific crash. But I'm getting over it.
But you're still here.
Getting over it.
You got a new motor. Aye. Okay, well, listen, Charlie, can't thank you enough for coming on.
thank you,
Really,
Charlie.
Cheers for that.
enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me.
Really, really funny stories and great storyteller as well. So that's what we're after. And let me be frank. So
Yes, don't forget, subscribe and follow and do all the things.
done. Right, so we'll see you again next time. Let me be frank. Cheers.
Cheers.